Hi, Facebook. This is literally the worst lighting ever in the history of ever. Give me a couple seconds to find myself here. Oh, if you're watching right now, I was going to say if you're watching right now, you're watching the replay, but I have some people watching, so welcome. I'm just setting up my laptop, and yes, the lighting is just as horrible when I look at myself in the laptop as it is here, but that doesn't really matter, does it? I don't know. I'm in a different place. I got shadows. It's all good. So I haven't been live in 7 weeks. Facebook told me today I have not been live in 7 weeks. I was doing Friday night lives. I think I did them 3 in a row because what else are we going to do? What else are we going to do on a Friday night? We have nothing to do. We have nowhere to go. We have no one to see. We have nothing to do. So why don't we just connect on Facebook? I cannot get over how bad my lighting is right now. That's my ego. Should we talk about the ego for a second? What is the ego and what is the function of the ego? The ego's function is to keep us safe and small. And my ego right now is like, you look really horrible. You look really shiny and gaunt and terrible. And that's not true. I look exactly what I look like, and there's nothing wrong with what I look like, which is the truth of it. I'm just grabbing the comments. Why? Just give me a second here. Let's talk about the ego. Let's talk about the ego. First of all, hi. Thanks for watching. I'm going to start saying hi to some people who are watching here, and then we're going to start talking about the ego a little bit. And I want to know what your ego says about you. And then I'm going to do some question and answers. So Monica, hello. Amanda, hello. Karen, hello. Tanis, Brianna again. Kimberly, Joan, Tammy, Rhonda, hello. Rhonda, you look beautiful. You look cute. You said I look cute. You look cute. Jennifer, Miranda, Tanis, Kim, Oana, I think it's Oana. I know I've talked to you before. Ruby, I love your name. Carrie, Karen, Chris, Sarah, I love it. Monica again. Is it a different Monica? Is it the same Monica? I don't know. If I haven't said hi to you, please let me know that you're here. Jolene, hi. Nicole, Vita, I love it. So if you're new here, my name is Kelsey. I'm a spiritual medium and I'm a soul coach. And what that means is, as a spiritual medium, I connect with those who have crossed over on the other side. Just like Teresa Caputo, only Canadian, and my hair is not, it's blonde. It's not really blonde. It's fake blonde. I think hers is probably too. But we kind of have the same job. On the spiritual medium side, I connect with those who've crossed over. I connect with guides, angels, ancestors, loved ones on the other side. And in soul coaching, I help you connect with the most important spirit in the room, your own. That's my tagline. It's on my website. That is the thing that I'm passionate about. And I look at the two different things as on the spiritual medium side. It's like that old saying, if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. And then on soul coaching, if you teach a man to fish, he eats for life. So that is the difference between getting a reading, getting a reading, intuitive or a mediumship reading, and doing soul coaching. There's definitely, I am more drawn to the soul coaching side of things lately. I feel like we're in a time and a space where we need to connect to our hearts. We need to reconnect to our souls. We need to reconnect to our purpose or find our purpose or whatever that is. And I think that our purpose is just to be as incredibly human as possible as a spiritual being. We're not here to be enlightened monks on top of mountaintops. We're here to live the human experience. And this woman years ago, her name is Dolores Cannon, she said that we're here to learn two things, our limitations and our emotions. And that's really what I'm passionate about in my soul coaching, and diving into that lately with a lot of clients is we're just like, it's just so fulfilling for me to take my clients on this journey to meet their own soul. People who are aware of the spiritual life, people who believe in a higher power, call it God or call it the universe, call it source, call it spirit, call it whatever you want, knowing that it's there, understanding it's there, and really wanting to dive deeper into working with it. You can't ever not work with spirit. That's one of the secrets. You can't ever not work with the universe. The universe is a mirror. That's something that comes out from my guides in a lot of my sessions, whether it's a reading or whether it's soul coaching. And the universe always likes to, or my guides always like to remind us that the universe is like a mirror. If you imagine a mirror on the ceiling, like the universe. I love this analogy. You imagine that the universe is a mirror on the ceiling, and whatever you're putting out with your frequency, whatever you're emitting from your vibration and your frequency, the universe is saying yes and reflecting it back to you. So if you have a shitty mindset and you are self-deprecating and you're the victim of your circumstances and everything is always bad, the universe looks down and says, yes, yes. You're glorious, and yes. And if you can get to a place where you can start to see silver linings, or you know that even though your circumstance might be crappy right now, but you know that you're in it to learn something, and you know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and you know deep down that there's got to be more than this, and that there is a plan for you, and that you can get through anything, and that you're a strong person, and there's the invisible forces for you to unleash in yourself. The universe looks down on you and says, yes, in all your glory, yes, yes, yes. So the power of positive thinking is an important thing, but it's not everything. We are made up of mind, body, and spirit. We have mindset work to do. We have body work to do. What are you putting into your body? What are you consuming? What are you watching? Who are you believing? Are you actually sitting and like believing everything that you hear? Are you thinking for yourself? Are you tapping into your intuition when somebody says something and it doesn't jive, or it doesn't land, or it doesn't resonate? Think about what resonate really means. Resonate means, like, if you think of like resonate, it means that if it doesn't resonate, it doesn't land, it doesn't stick, it doesn't feel good. It's like a sour note sometimes. If it doesn't resonate, if it does resonate, it feels like a good, like clear, strong note. I'm going into why spirit, why what the heck. All right, well, now I have no lighting. Apparently, well, this is kind of better lighting than I had before with my bright light. Okay, we'll go with it. That just scared me. My light just stopped. Anyway, if you resonate with something, if you're tapping into your intuition and you're resonating with something and it feels good to you, then go with that. If it feels like sunshine, go with that. It feels like a 10 out of 10, go with that. If it doesn't, then why are you still going with it? Why are you believing it? Why are you believing it? I'm reading a book right now that is challenging my beliefs on some things. The video has ended. Why? Are we still live? What is going on? It hasn't ended. Okay, it totally ended on my laptop. And my light turned out. We're still here. Okay, we're here. Okay, thank you guys. Video has not ended. Okay. Anyway, what I was trying to say, and thank you guys for connecting. I hear my mom yelling upstairs. What I was trying to say is listen to your intuition. Listen to your intuition. When your head and your ego, I started off, if you're just joining us, I started off talking about my ego. My ego saying that my lighting is really bad, saying I look really gaunt, saying I look really shiny, saying I don't look good enough to be online tonight. I looked fine in the mirror, but when I got in that lighting, which Spirit turned off for me because it's much better now besides this giant shadow, I just felt like, ooh, I feel not good enough. And that was my ego. The ego's function is to tell you to stay small and that you're not good enough and that you shouldn't go out and do things. And when I work with people and they say, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do, I'm stuck. Are you stuck, or is your ego just telling you that you're stuck? Because your heart has a calling. Your heart is telling that you want to do a thing. You want to create a product. You want to start a business. You want to start a band. You want to write a book. You want to take a class. You want to leave a relationship. You want to start a relationship. You want to ask somebody out. You want to do a thing. Your heart is telling you these things all the time, but your ego is saying, nope, you're not good enough. You have to stay small. If you ask that person out, they could reject you. If you leave your relationship, you could be poor for the rest of your life. If you write a book, no one will buy it. Who's going to buy it? Go into Chapters, go into Indigo. There's billions of books out there. Nobody's going to buy your book. Why would you write it? Nobody cares about your story. Nobody cares about the shit you've been through. Nobody cares about anything. That's what your ego says. And that all comes from childhood shit, and it comes from past life stuff. I'm not really into, even though I'm a medium, don't lump me in with everybody. I'm not into past life stuff. I think we have enough stuff in this lifetime, but I know really amazing past life practitioners, really amazing ones. But it's just not my jam, but that's cool. So we have all this stuff that our ego from experience to keep us safe and to keep us small comes up with. But our soul is calling to something bigger. So I want you guys to share with me, if you want to share with me in the comments, just to kind of kick this off, and then I want to do a little Q&A with you. If you want to share with me, what is something that your ego likes to tell you? Not good enough, not smart enough, shouldn't do this, shouldn't start that business. What is it? What do you hear over and over and over again? Over and over and over again. And I'll share one while I'm waiting for your comments, because I love reading your comments. So please be interactive here. And so it was funny. I was on a call on Wednesday night with a coach of mine, and I said something about money. We're talking about money and whatever. And I said, oh my God, I'm so stupid. I can't believe how stupid I am, or something like that. And they were like, don't say you're stupid. That's not stupid. It's totally normal to think that. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I guess. Like, I would probably say the same thing to one of my clients. Don't say you're stupid. And then I was on a call with a friend yesterday who's also a coach. We had a 2-hour chit chat. I was like, I need to bounce some things off of you. And we're talking and talking and talking, and I'm going through all the stuff. We're discussing all the things. And then she's like, can you please stop saying that you're stupid? And I was like, did I say that? I don't remember saying that, because in the first call I typed it in the chat, in the call with my friend. I was just talking. She's like, can you please stop saying you're stupid? And I was like, did I? She's like, yeah, about 7 times you said you were stupid. And then I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I don't even, like, my kids don't even say the word stupid. I don't like them to say, well, my 14-year-old does, because he doesn't listen to me anymore. Which is stupid, which is normal for 14-year-olds. But I didn't realize that I had this ongoing inner dialogue calling myself stupid. And so right then and there on the call, I do this work with clients all the time, and I do this work with myself all the time, and I've been around the block enough to do the work immediately on the spot, and I realized exactly this underlying belief that I'm stupid, and I traced it all the way back to somebody in my childhood. Not saying that I'm stupid, but me believing that they think that I'm stupid. And I cried some tears and took a deep breath. And now I have this realization that I have this pattern of saying that I'm stupid, calling myself stupid, and also thinking that I'm stupid. And that translates into a million different things in my life. I never graduated high school. I never went to university. I never did all of these things, all these achievement things. But here's the truth. Here's what my heart says. So that's what your ego says. And this beautiful, beautiful exercise that I do with my clients, head says, heart says. My head says, I think I'm stupid. Didn't even realize it. Didn't even realize that I thought that I was stupid deep down somewhere, that I had this internal dialogue that I'm stupid. And so I tapped into my heart, and my heart said, you've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years. You've always worked for yourself, besides some weird piddly jobs before you started your first career. This is my second big career. And you've always made enough money at the end of the month, maybe like 3 cents more than you actually need. Maybe a little bit less sometimes too. There's always been enough money. You've always been able to put food on the table for your kids. You've always been able to save up for a trip. You've always been able to do the things that you want to do. And that's not stupid. That's not stupid. That's not like all the way. I still have goals. I have dreams. I have aspirations. I have things that I want to do and achieve. But that's not stupid. That's brilliant, and that's amazing. And all of that makes you who you are. And there's nothing stupid about that. Sometimes I make poor choices. Sometimes I do things that are questionable. We all do. We all do. And I think that's the thing that people in the spiritual world, people put pressure on them, and they put pressure on themselves to be perfect people. I have fucked up some stuff. I have made some I don't even believe in mistakes. I believe in poor choices. And all I can do is 2 things. I can listen to my ego saying, you're stupid, and you made some stupid mistakes, and you've done some dumb things, and that was dumb, and that was stupid, and that was blah, blah, blah. Or I can tap into my heart and say, there are no mistakes. There's just learning opportunities. And you just have to make better choices moving forward. And this is like in personal life and in business and in parenting and like all the things. I ate McDonald's the other day. That was a poor choice because my stomach hurt for 2 days. I literally laid in bed. My kids are like, what's wrong with you? And I said, McDonald's, it's poison, it's gross, it's not good for me. I knew it. They wanted McDonald's and it was a treat. And I grabbed a cheeseburger and I paid for it. And I knew I would. It's a poor choice. So next time I either beat myself up, listen to the ego, or I forgive myself and I make a better choice next time. And I've made much poorer choices than just eating McDonald's. So I'm going to read some of your comments now because I'm dying to know what your ego says. So Monica says, I had so many strong signs lately. Was drawn to your page, just looked at a text from a friend and you were referred to me by a friend. Oh, amazing. As a medium. Amazing. I would love to talk to you, Monica. If you guys are interested in doing a one-on-one, I put my website in the comments. And if you follow me on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram. That's another thing I wanted to say. Please follow me on Instagram. I am rarely on Facebook. I come to do Facebook Lives because I get way more people on Facebook Live, but I am never engaging on Facebook Live or on Facebook. I am always on Instagram. I am always on my stories. I am not good at posting on my grid. So if you're on Instagram and don't follow me there, I am very entertaining and I'm very insightful. And sometimes I make mistakes, but sometimes I actually make really good choices on Instagram. That is my preferred platform. So if you're not following me, please follow me there. I do mostly soul coaching things there, little messages that come through from my guides. I talk about all the time. Sometimes I do Q&As. I do lots of check-ins. And I do one-on-one soul coaching, and I do readings. And I said on my Insta, this is the point, getting to the point. I said on Instagram today, I was talking about soul coaching. Go watch my stories. And I said, nobody ever gets a 30-minute session with me and doesn't say, oh, I should have booked longer. Like, it's almost like I shouldn't do 30-minute sessions anymore, because everybody at the end of 30 minutes, when I'm like, okay, I gotta go, they're like, oh, I want more. So if you want to book a session, please book an hour. And I'm not, I just trust me on that. Just trust me, because I love to get into it. So we can do mediumship, we can do intuitive reading, we can do some soul coaching. Because like I said at the beginning, if you're just joining us, doing the readings is like, if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. And soul coaching is like, if you teach a man to fish, he eats for life. Okay. We went on a little side tangent there. Okay, so Miranda says, not smart enough. Elizabeth says, I'm not smart enough to take classes to further my education. But how do you get smarter if you don't put yourself in a place to learn? How are you going to get smarter? Not motivated enough. You will fall from grace. What is grace? Ooh, what is grace to you? You will fall from grace. You will fall from grace. Grace to me is the space. If you give yourself grace, it's the space to be imperfect. It's the space to learn and grow. It's that forgiveness, that juicy, loving, sweet space. And if your ego is saying you'll fall from grace, only if you believe it can you fall from grace, unless you have a different definition of that. Brianne says definitely not good enough. Nicole says other people do this better. Melissa says I'm not as good as I should be. Not good enough to do what my heart desires. Carrie says stay small. Yeah, your ego tells you exactly what the ego's function is, to stay small and in fear. Oana says not unique, nothing new to share. Barbara Ann says you aren't getting into school, just give up. If you're meant to be there, you're gonna be there. I want to go back to Oana's, and I want to say that this one's so familiar to me, and I so feel this one, because there's a million white spiritual women out there, and there's such big buzz around, the toxicity of white spiritual women, and I totally understand that, and I'm learning a lot about myself, and I'm learning a lot about the spiritual industry and the community and all of this, and I'm paying attention, and I'm being mindful, and I'm trying to do all the things, but when you say I'm not unique and there's nothing new to share, have you ever watched a movie twice? Or have you ever read a book twice? Or have you ever seen a quote twice, or heard something once and then again, which would be twice? And the first time you're like, okay. And then the second time you're like, whoa. And you have that aha moment, or you have that paradigm shift, you have that quantum leap from knowledge into wisdom. Have you ever done that? Have you ever noticed anything in a book or a movie that you didn't notice before? Or heard a lyric in a song that you've sung a million times, but all of a sudden it means something to you? Or heard a teaching from somebody, and then somebody quotes that person, and you're like, oh, I get it now. Or this is an interesting one that I just kind of experienced a little while ago, is, do you guys remember the Jagged Little Pill album from Alanis Morissette? It came out when I was in my teens. I think I was 13 or 14, maybe even 12. Jagged Little Pill by Alanis Morissette. I started listening to, or I heard one of the songs on the radio. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was You Oughta Know. And I was like, oh, there's fire in this song. There's some anger in this song. There's some it's like I understood it. And I remember being a teenager or a tween and listening and being like, yeah, fired up by the song. But now I've got some life experience, and I'm like, oh, this is where she is singing this song from. And I went back and I listened to the whole album, and it was like, it hits different when you're almost 40 than when you're 12 or 13 years old. Like, you think you're angsty. You think you got some life experience when you're that young. And you think that you can connect to this music, and then you get to almost 40 and you're like, oh, it goes from knowledge to wisdom. And it's like you feel it in your bones. So when you say, where did it go? Not unique, nothing new to share. I don't think there's an original thought. We are here to learn limitations and emotions. And the way that we express them is repetitive, right? And we learn the same things, right? We experience the same emotions in different ways. And so I might go through postpartum depression, and you might go through postpartum depression, but my experience is totally different than your experience, but it's the same thing. Or I might go through losing somebody that I love, and I grieve in this way, and you go through you lose somebody that you love, and you grieve in a different way. We're both grieving. We're both sad. We go through anger. We go through all the steps and the process or whatever, but we do it totally different. But we get it on a different level when we I don't know, it hits us in a different way. That's what I don't know what I'm trying to say. I hope that makes sense. What I'm trying to say is, I can tell you that the universe is a mirror, like a mirror on the ceiling, and it always says yes. And that might not resonate. That might not make sense. And then you might read The Universe Has Your Back by Gabby Bernstein and be like, oh, I get that universe. Oh, that's what Kelsey was trying to say. Or Kelsey's full of shit and Gabby's right. Or whatever it is. So say what's in your heart, because somebody needs to hear it the way that you need to hear it, is what I'm trying to say. We just took a really, really long detour to get to that point. But I hope that something resonated in there for you. Other people do this better, not good enough, stay small, not unique, nothing new, not smart enough to write my book, not smart enough, definitely, crappy mom, you don't know what you're talking about, don't change jobs, stay where you know, you're not smart enough, everyone else gets pregnant, who do you think you are, people don't care about what you think. You don't even know your purpose. Too much focus on everybody but myself. People pleaser. Yeah, too much focus on everyone else. I'm a people pleaser. So you have this. I feel like that's your heart talking to you. I feel like that's your heart saying, I need some focus in here. I need some love. I need some attention. Maybe that's your heart saying, hey, I need some attention here. Where was I? Lots of little stuff all boils down to not being good enough. They will judge you. Don't show them, the audience, this side of you. Like the real you. I get that one. Don't be too loud, too honest, too vulnerable. Don't swear. Sit down. Sit like a lady. Act like a professional. What is that? What is that even? What is that even? The more ourselves we are, the more permission we give to other people to be themselves. And that is 99% of the feedback that I get from people is, I love you because you're so real. And I'm still not 100% real. I mean, I really want to dance on Instagram stories sometimes, but my ego won't let me. But in my membership on our calls on Monday, I will make you dance. Or I will dance. That's what we're going to do on this Monday. I'm going to make them dance. Prepare for the bad things to happen to you. Yeah, that's a conditioning that society has given to us. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best, on a slight chance that the best might happen. I love to say, it's been like my tagline forever, what's the best that could happen? And then don't fill in the blank. What's the best that can happen? Because we are so conditioned to think, what's the worst that can happen? Won't be able to get a career. I don't bring value, and my voice doesn't matter. Sorry, my computer's so glitchy. Celeste, I love you. Thank you. Kimberly says, oh, I know I'm a great person. So, I know I'm a great person. I don't even want to read your thing. I know I'm a great person, period. Period. I know I'm a great person. That's all you need. I know I'm a great person. But forget about the but. Who cares? That's all your brain. That's all your ego trying to make up shit and make up a big story. I know I'm a good person. And that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Okay, I'll read the rest. I know I'm a great person, but your ego's always going to say but. Just so you guys know. It's the ego. When you hear the but, the yeah but, it's the ego. But I constantly put myself down. So it's a judgment. That's a judgment right there. You're judging that you put yourself down. Your ego is judging that you put yourself down. My family has had a couple tough years and it's been wearing us down, and I feel like we're starting to believe these tough years are because of something we did, and we're starting to question whether we did something to deserve this. We know deep down we didn't. We know deep down we didn't. But I feel like my ego, my heart is telling me, when I feel, my heart is telling me oh, I lost it. Shoot. I feel like my ego is trying to make me doubt myself more. So you have all the answers. You already know you're a great person. And you know deep down you didn't do anything to cause this. And you feel, you know, that your ego is trying to make you doubt yourself more. So what you need to do is cut out all the rest and tell yourself a million times a day, I know that I'm a great person, and I know deep down that I didn't do anything to earn or cause or create whatever, the struggle. And I feel, because my heart is telling me and my soul is telling me when we feel things, that my ego is trying to make me doubt myself more. I know I'm a good person. I know deep down I didn't do anything. You already got it. So you have to trust that knowing. I think I'm a good person. I think I'm a good person. No, I know I'm a good person. Call recently. And I said to my coach, oh my God, I'm such a horrible person. And he's like, really? And I was like, no, actually, I don't think I'm a horrible person. I think I make poor choices, but I don't think I'm a horrible person. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, can you say I'm a great person? I was like, yeah, I'm a fucking fantastic person. I have a heart of gold. I love to help people. I love to serve. I have a great connection to spirit, God, universe. I say God when I'm not on Facebook Live. I know I'm a good person. I know I am. And there's no doubt about that. But that's been years, years of work. But you don't need years of work. You just need to know it and trust it and repeat it to yourself. So thank you for writing that, Kimberly, and sharing that. And you already have the answers. You go with what you know. Go with what you know. So Brianna says, I'm not strong enough to excel in my own business and work from home. I don't deserve a decent relationship. Jennifer loves my Instagram stories. Thank you. Amanda booked 30 minutes, and thank goodness I was able to give her an hour, which I'm not always able to do. I find that wisdom comes and the meaning comes in some pretty big moments through trauma. Yeah. These big traumatic things. I was reading a thing, and I'm not a therapist and I'm not a trauma specialist, but I was reading something. I really like Maston Kipp. He also is not a therapist or a psychologist, but he talks a lot about trauma, and it resonates for me. And he was saying that trauma is what lives inside your body after an event that is traumatic. And so doing trauma therapy is connecting with your body and not back to the, I'm not even going to talk about trauma because I'm not qualified. And that's the God's honest truth. It's not my ego. I'm not qualified to talk about trauma. Yeah, things happen to us that are big and they're hard and they're heavy and they're painful. And we can allow the ego to take over and keep us safe and small, and say, if you put yourself on a limb, that thing is going to happen. If you're too loud, the grown-ups are going to tell you to be quiet. If you're too out there, then people are going to look at you and laugh at you. If you put yourself out there, bad things are going to happen. Because a lot of the time when we're really little, we are loud and we're vivacious and we're these big-hearted spirits, and the big people in our lives tell us to sit down and be quiet. And then that kind of spirit, that free spirit, is kind of like conditioned out of us, because good girls sit down and be quiet and, sit with their legs closed and do all the ladylike things, and we don't swear and blah, blah, blah. Well, fuck that. So we have to unlearn all of those things. But there's a lot of trauma in that, right? I had a lady yell at me when I was probably 6 years old. And it was it was a friend of the family or some lady who knew my mom, and she yelled at me, and I still I get this visceral reaction in my body. I hold the trauma of her snapping at me because I was whining, and her kids didn't whine, and she told me, and I was just it was so traumatic to me, and I don't think there was something that was unfair, and I felt very unheard. And so I didn't talk for a long time about what was unfair, and I just took whatever happened, and I didn't want to be loud, and I was shy. I had social anxiety because I didn't want to piss off the big people. We all have experiences like this, and it comes from these moments, and then the ego says, don't complain, because someone's going to yell at you or somebody's going to snap at you. And then if something goes wrong and you have the right to complain, then we don't want to, and then we stifle our voice, and then we live small. Not that we should be out there complaining all the time. But yeah, these are things that we're here to overcome, limitations. The ego limits us. So I have to learn to use my voice. I had to learn that it's okay to swear. As a grown-up, some people aren't going to like it, and that's okay. I like it. I like people who swear. I like to cuss like a sailor, and that's okay for me. It's not okay for everybody, but it's okay for me. And it doesn't make me less than. It doesn't make me unworthy. It just makes me colorful. Having a short out-of-body experience while falling asleep. Astral travel. I think this is you can see yourself. Yeah, look up astral travel. Jessie says, having a short moment of out-of-body experience while falling asleep, like you see yourself sleeping. So this is just astral travel. There's millions of books and YouTube videos and stuff on it. And it's just like when our body goes to sleep, our soul still is connected and traveling and working out things. I think that dreams are kind of our mind's way of taking out the trash, they say. And yeah, so our soul still goes to work, and sometimes before our body is fully asleep, our soul kind of, goes to work, and we have that kind of out of body weird experience. So a lot of people do that intentionally and try to astral travel. My kids are really into astral traveling right now. I don't know where they looked it up, but I'm like, hey, fill your boots. If you want to go somewhere else in the middle of the night and do some lucid dreaming, astral traveling, go for it. I think those are two different things, but anyway. Elizabeth says, I wonder if anxiety masks your ego. I have anxiety, and would it be too far out there to think it overpowers the ego thoughts, or they're in the same category? I don't know if that makes sense. I felt the need to write it. This is my answer. When you have anxiety, so anxiety for me means that my mind is going so fast, my thoughts are going so fast and so low vibrational, or so, I don't want to say dark, but like can be dark, so worrisome, so kind of panicky that I feel it in my body. It starts to, my body goes, my amygdala says, or it goes into fight or flight, right? And then I feel it in my body. And I really feel like when I have anxiety, I get like sick feeling in my gut. I get like like it just feels like gross in my gut. And then when I'm really anxious, when I have a lot of anxiety, my lips will go numb. That's another thing that happens to me. I lost my video again. And I want to read the question again. But yeah, so I think anxiety is when we listen to our ego so much that it just kind of takes over. Our fight, flight, freeze response takes over our body and overrides everything. So practices like meditation, and some sort of breath work, some sort of like calming, practice. Sorry, I've lost my freaking video again. Now playing. So I am live, but I'm not live. Okay. I have no comments. Can't see anything. There, got my comments back. Okay. So yes, so our amygdala takes over, our sympathetic nervous system takes over. I think it's sympathetic. I always get them confused. And then it just overrides everything. So listening to your body, I am live. Okay. Now I see my comments. Thanks guys. Listening to your body and doing this exercise, head says, heart says. So listening and dumping out into a journal, onto a page, onto something touchable, tangible, whatever's going on in your head, mind dumping it onto paper. Head says, this is what my fear says. This is what my ego says. I'm not good enough. I'm a piece of shit. I'm never going to get out of this debt. I'm never going to find a relationship. I'm never going to leave my husband. I'm never going to blah, 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 blah. Write all those fears down, right? Get it all out of here and down onto a piece of paper, and then sit, put your hands on your heart, connect with your body, connect with your breath, do a little meditation if that feels good, and ask what your heart says. Ask, and your heart is the portal to your spirit. That's where your spirit lives. That's why when people die and they pass away, we say, well, always keep them in my heart. And your spirit is the most important spirit that you have a connection to. And I say that as a human being and a medium and a person with a spirit. This is my one undying belief that your spirit is the most important spirit. With all the spirit guides and all the guides and all the angels and all of that, your spirit is the one that you're supposed to connect with. Not outside stuff, inside stuff. Your spirit first. You connect with that, and then you ask your spirit. You ask your heart. My heart says. So all this bullshit on the page, put it on the page, and then say, yeah, but what does my heart have to say? Change that yeah, but around. What does my heart have to say? You're amazing. You're going through stuff. You've been through stuff. You've experienced stuff that's really hard, and that's okay. You're strong, you're resilient, you're amazing, you're powerful. And just because you have anxiety, it doesn't mean it needs to define your life. Whatever it wants to say. Write yourself a love letter. What would you say to your best friend? That is what your heart and your soul is going to say to you. I hope that makes sense. I wonder if anxiety masks your ego. Yeah, it just, once you've hit the anxiety place, it's overriding everything else. It's overriding everything else. Then your mind, body, and spirit are together, right? Like that's what makes you you. Mind, body, and spirit. So we can override it the other way by practicing tapping into our heart, tapping into our soul, tapping into our spirit. So think about that next time, and you can use this as a daily practice. I have it in I don't have a journal here to show you, but I created a journal. If you're new here, it's called Calm, Confident, Capable. You can get it on Amazon. If you go to my website, it'll pop up and say, get my daily journal. That's one of the practices that I practice every single day. There's gratitude. There's head says, heart says. There is I am statements I'm completely capable of, and then there's some scripting work in there. But head says, heart says is so incredible for when you want to tap into your ego and your spirit. And this also allows those hard emotions a place to come up, because we can't just slap a positive affirmation on our pain or on our trauma or on our life and call it a day. We have to look at those things. We have to listen to our ego, because our ego is just basically our inner child calling out for help, trying to keep us safe and small. And we have to do the work to listen to it. What is the feeling under it, right? What is the feeling that I felt when that woman told me to stop complaining and snapped at me? It was horrible. It was unworthy, pure unworthiness. Pure unworthiness. Sit down, shut up. You are not worthy of being heard or listened to, right? And then you have to undo all of that stuff. When you can tap into that emotion, my head says, my ego says, under all of this anxiety, I am unworthy. And that's most of the comments on here tonight is I'm not worthy. So you guys, you get right to it. What is under unworthy? Sadness. I feel sad. Period. No buts. I feel sad because blah, blah, blah. Nope. I feel sad. Tap into that. I feel sad. You do all your head says work and plop it onto the paper. What is the feeling? I feel sad. Sit with that feeling. Allow it to come out. Allow it to come up before you move on to heart says. Allow yourself to cry. I cried 6 times today. Oh, I can make myself cry just by talking about crying talking about how many times I cried today. I literally I cried 6 times today, and the tears just the little stinging in the eyes come up. You can see, getting all glassy eyed. I cried so many times today. And every time I get that little feeling, I'm not going to cry right now, but I'm going to stop it right now because we're on live. But every time today I felt like crying, I just cried. And I went, oh, there's some shit at the bottom of the pail that was still in there. Okay, clean it out, clear it out, clear it out, clear it out. Let it come up, let it come out. Then a couple hours later, I'd hear someone cry again. And I'd cry, let it out, give myself space, give myself grace, love myself, hold myself through it. And then I'd feel better. You know what happens when we have a good cry? What do we all say when we have a good cry? After you have a good cry, after you feel like shit, you feel like you're going to die and you just want to fall into a big hole and die. Oh, I feel so much lighter. I feel so much better. Every time I have a client cry on a call, which is every call. If you don't cry on a call with me, I feel like I haven't done my job. Not that I want to make you cry, but I want to move that emotion. I want to unstick it, especially because people always say, I feel stuck. Let's get that shit unstuck. How do you feel? I feel so much lighter because we've moved that heavy emotion. We've moved that lower vibration. We've cried it out of our eyeballs. We've allowed it space. And then when we move it, we can let the heart talk and we can bring the good things in. We can create space for more beautiful, magical, miracle things to come in. I hope that makes sense. So Carrie says, ego says I'm a fraud. Yep. Lisa says, I just got on. What's the topic we're discussing? Sorry, I'm a little lost. Welcome. We're just talking about all the things. I'm asking what your ego says, what your fear voice says. Not good enough. Vita says, you helped fix my doubts, so they are gone. I'm so glad. I didn't. You're the willing participant. You're the willing participant. When you look at life like, what is the best that can happen? You get a book recommendation. You hear a song that changes your life. You have that intuitive nudge to call a friend. You get on a Facebook Live. You put yourself out on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. You feel compelled to do these things. And you have to take action on the things that your heart call you to do. What's the best that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? The universe says, yep. You want to see what's the worst that could happen? You got it, babe. Anything for you. What's the best that could happen? You show me, because my limited human view, universe, tells me that this and this and this and this and this is the best thing that can happen. But I know that if I'm open, then way better stuff can happen. So you show me what's the best that can happen. And I'll follow your cues. And then the universe looks down and says, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you got it, babe. Chris says, other people's feelings and opinions matter more than my own. So you were not listened to when you were small. Your opinions and your feelings didn't matter. And how does that make you feel? What's the feeling under that? Unworthy. What's the feeling under that? Sad. Write it all out. Write it all out. Rhonda said, I literally just got an email about my dream job and then right away told my husband it's pointless to apply because they won't hire me. Why? I'm smart and qualified. After hearing you tonight, I'm applying. I can't wait for you to get that job. I cannot wait for you to get that job. And if you don't get that job, I can't wait for you to be so proud of yourself for applying anyway. Because here's the thing about manifesting something. Here is what really gets me fucking fired up, as you can see. When you want something and you're like, universe, what's the best that could happen? I'm going to apply for this job. They might not hire me. That's okay, because I'm worthy whether I get the job or not. What matters is that I applied for the job when my ego said, don't apply for the job. When that fear voice said, I'm not good enough for the job, I did it anyway. I overrode that voice. I reached into my heart and I did something that was scary, and I didn't listen to that fear voice. I didn't listen to my ego. I didn't cater to it for once in my life. And it doesn't matter if I get the job, because I'm proud of myself and I put myself out on a limb and I took a step. And it doesn't matter if I get it. That is the key to manifesting things. I'm good either way. I'm good either way. Doesn't matter. I am worthy because I exist. My worth is not contingent on whether I get the job or not, or I get the person or not, or if I have $1 million in the bank, or if I have $37 in the bank. Doesn't matter. I am worthy either way. And when you know your worth and you know you're worthy and you believe it in your heart, it doesn't matter. And that's when we get things. That's when things come to us. We don't have to go out and chase things. We don't have to go and make things. We don't have to go and get things. We do have to take action. You have to apply for the job. You're not going to get the job. You're not going to get the job if you don't apply for the job. But if you apply for the job, you have a 50 chance, 50% chance, right? So you just upped your chances of getting, when you apply for it, you're going to up your chances of getting that job by 50%. Those are pretty good freaking odds. Those are pretty good freaking odds. And you're good either way because your worth does not change whether you get it or not. Let it go. What's the best that can happen? You show me, universe. If I'm not supposed to get this job, I won't get it because that's not for my best, because I'm surrendering to the universe. You show me. What's the best that can happen? What's the best that can happen? There's something better out there waiting if you don't get it. God's plan, you guys. God's plan. God's plan. Lisa says, I agree about the trauma. I suffered a brain injury and was completely lost who I was. It was the greatest gift ever. I'm now able to focus on things that matter the most. God's plan. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And that goes back to, we're here to learn two things: limitations and emotions. You can limit yourself and be like, I had this injury, it's the worst thing ever, ruined my life, I hate everything. Or you can take the opportunity to overcome. I love it. You're talking about telling my kids to sit down and be quiet, and this was my question for you today. Yeah. My energy is low because I'm triggered by them being so loud, and when the whining and tantrums start, my patience is gone. I snap. Oh, I don't not do this. I am not the perfect mom. I snapped the other day. Woo! My kids were like, woo! I am not the perfect mom. I snap, and it's a lot lately. I don't like living in this energy, so there's got to be a willingness to change. I don't want to kill their beautiful spirits. I have 3 boys, 6, 4, and 2. Well, congratulations to you for being a boy mom of 6, 4, and 2. I have a girl in the middle of my 3. Which I don't know if that makes it easier or not, because I don't know any different. But take a moment and just give yourself some grace. We're literally living through a massive global pandemic. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. The rules change every single day. We're stuck at home with our kids, and then we're not, and then we are, and then we're not, and then we are, and then we're not. So all you can do is have the willingness to change. All you can do is, first of all, take care of yourself first, which is hard when they're little. I've been there. I understand that. But take care of yourself. Go to bed a little bit earlier. Turn off Netflix a little bit early. Whatever it is that you need to do. What do you need to fill your cup? I know it sounds like a cliche and it's cheesy and blah, 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 fill your cup. It is freaking true, especially for women. We are taught and we're conditioned to be selfless. That means abandoning the self, not acknowledging that there is a self that has needs. So we need to mother ourselves first. And we're taught and we're conditioned that if we mother ourselves first, if we take care of ourselves, then we are less than. And we preach and we teach and we hear, put yourself first, but then we put ourselves first, and then everybody else goes, who do you think you are? I started going on trips when my kids were little. When my littlest was 9 months old, I went to LA with some girlfriends, and I was told, I can't believe you're leaving your baby. And I was like, I need to get away from my kid before I snap. It's hard now, but you need to listen to your soul, and your soul and your body will tell you exactly what you need to do. Just connect in with that. And if you need to meditate, this is coming through me. If you need to meditate, invite your kids to join you. Invite your kids to join you. 2 minutes. Do you think we could breathe for 2 minutes? And that's all they need. Or start with 1 and then do 2. Make it a challenge. Make it fun. That's what I did with mine when they were little. And eventually they don't want to do it anymore. So they'll like, oh, let's just leave mom alone because she wants to do her crazy breathing stuff. So there has to be a willingness to change. A willingness to change. And there is a willingness to change because you recognize that there is a pattern that you don't want to perpetuate. You don't want to kill their little spirits. So what do you need to do? You know what you need to do. You know what you need to do. And then you just need to be 1% better tomorrow, and then 1% better the next day, and then in 100 days you're 100% better. I don't know what book that came from, but that helped me when my kids were little. So I hope that that helps. But I am not perfect. And I do to my children what I am trying to undo from my childhood. It is just the cycle of life. My kids will need therapy. They will need life coaches. Because nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. And I have lost my comments again. What the heck? Okay. I've got comments. I don't have live feed. Okay. You're live, you're live, you're live. Ego is a big trigger for my anxiety. Yep. I love it. I'm so excited. Jennifer's gonna get a journal. I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited for it. That has been my week too. The crying, yeah, emotional. It was a full moon last night, so we're living in this full moon energy. And it brings the full moon. If you think of the full moon as like a spotlight, like it's full and it's bright, it's shining a bright light on all of the stuff that needs to be looked at, all of the stuff that we need to let go, all of the self-deprecation, all of the patterns, all of the addictions, all of the things that are holding us back from being what we want to be. That's what the full moon is doing. So when you're really emotional on the full moon and you're feeling all the feels, feel them, stay with it, stay in it. Don't just blame it on the moon and move on and turn on Netflix. Stay in it. Sit down and close your eyes and cry for like an hour in front of your kids. Let them hug you and rub your hair and tell you it's going to be okay. It's normal to have emotions. And then when they cry and they're feeling it, sit down with them and hold them and rub their hair and tell them it's going to be okay. Normalize feeling the fucking feelings. Normalize it. Your husband is upset and he needs to cry. Let him cry. Rub his head. Tell him it's okay. When your boss wants to cry. whenever anybody wants to cry. Don't fix it. Just hold space. Holding space just means holding a safe container. Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more. There's a magic words when somebody is telling you what's on their heart or they're venting to you. Tell me more. Let them get to it. Tell me more. Tell me more. It's like a therapist. How does that make you feel? But tell me more. Tell me more. Because they probably don't have it all figured out. Hold space for yourself. Tell me more. I feel like I'm not good enough. Tell me more. I feel like I'm not good enough when I'm in this position. Tell me more. I feel like I'm not good enough when blah, 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 blah. Tell me more. Ask yourself, your ego. Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more. Rachel says, did you see that you had 37 people watching at the moment when you said $37 in the bank? No, I didn't, but thank you for that. I love it. Oh, Daphne says, thank you, Kelsey. I've been doing my best to fill my own cup. I knew you'd be able to relate. I long every single day to connect with my own soul. The noise. Yeah, you're just empathic. So I invite them to meditate with me. So much patience. It's such a beautiful practice for kids too. Kids get overwhelmed too. We have all these kids with ADD and all these issues and behavioral issues and self-regulation issues. And if we're not modeling to them self-regulation, and I wish I'd known this stuff when my kids were your age. I wish I could go back 8 years and know what I know now and be who I am now and be able to self-regulate now. Because I was a yeller and I was mad and I was like drill sergeanting, and I can be snippy with my kids still, and I'm definitely not the perfect mom, but I do the best that I can now, and I try to let them be who they are. instead of trying to mold them into perfect little soldiers. Like we're taught that that's what parenting is, but letting them be expressive and letting them have their emotions and letting them, you know, be who they are. It's hard, but all we can do is do that self-reflection and go inside and look at ourselves and do the best that we can and give ourselves grace and make better choices when we realize that we're not exactly where we're supposed to be, or I could have done that better, or I could have done something different. There's before I let you guys go, Colette Baron-Reed is a beautiful medium, and she makes card decks, and she's awesome. And she's always said, if you do what you did, you get what you got. If you do what you did, you get what you got. So if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, you're going to get the same result, right? It's like Einstein says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over again, expecting a different result. So if you keep engaging with people instead of setting boundaries, if you keep, you know, running yourself down to empty and yelling at your kids, if you keep doing the things over and over again and getting the same results, you got to take a long, hard look at, what do I need to change? What pattern do I need to disrupt? What do I need to do differently? Do I need to go to bed earlier? Do I need to stop eating dairy? Do I need to take a vacation? It's hard to do now, but do I need to go for a walk? Do I need to get some fresh air? Do I need to do some yoga? What do I need to do? And your body, closing your eyes and tuning into your body. What do you need? My body needs to pee right now, and my body is very thirsty. So I need to drink, and I need to go to the bathroom. And then I need to go to bed probably in an hour. I should go to bed at 10 tonight because I stayed up pretty late watching. Actually, I think I was scrolling on Twitter, which is never good for me. But I want you guys to think about what your ego is saying and practice that head says, heart says. And my battery, I feel like my battery on my phone is going to die soon, so I should cut this off. But head says, heart says, dump it all on paper. Write a letter to yourself. Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. Listen to that ego. What is the feeling under this? How does all of this make me feel? Feel the feeling, cry it out. And then heart says, write a letter to your heart, from your heart. Write a letter from your heart. What does my heart say? I know I'm a good person. Period. Don't need to explain yourself. I know deep down, I didn't do anything to do this, to cause this. It's just some shitty circumstance, but I know that I can get through it. I know that I'm stronger than this. I know who I am. I know that I am unlimited when I'm connected to God, source, universe, spirit, whatever it is. If you would like to join us on Monday nights, I have a membership. It's called the Invitation Inward. This Monday night, we are doing a collective reading. And then we do calm, we do confident, we do capable. Every month we have a guest speaker. All of the replays are available. All of the calls that we have done when you join are available. And we go over this stuff all the time. We do Q&As. We talk about these things. We do channeled messages. We do readings. We do all sorts of really cool stuff. So I would love if you go to my website, if you want to join. We do calls every Monday. And it's like the most heart expanding community. Everybody in there is just so freaking amazing, and we're learning and we're growing together, and it's just such an amazing community. And apparently I will make you dance as well. Sometimes the best way to connect with your ego is to dance in front of people sober. It's an exercise. It's a thing. If you've ever been to one of my classes at my old studio, one of my moon ceremonies, I always made people dance and they hated it. Oh, this is like robotic. That's your ego telling you it's embarrassing and you look stupid. I love it. I love it. But I love you guys, and I want to thank you for joining me tonight. I hope that we never even got to cards, but I hope that you gleaned some wisdom tonight. I hope that you heard something that's going to help you moving forward. Rhonda, I cannot wait to hear whether you got the job or not. Please keep me posted. Please send me a message whether you got it or not. I am so proud of you just for applying, because that is the most important thing. That is the most important thing. And I love you guys. Thanks for joining me. Let's do this again. this just like makes my heart happy to connect with you guys. And I hope you join the Invitation Inward. Like, why not? Why freaking not? Join that community. It's so much fun. We do this every single night. I love it. I love you guys. Mwah. Have a beautiful weekend. Go outside and breathe some fresh air and do something different. Remember, if you do what you did, you get what you got. So disrupt those patterns and do something big. Take a chance. Take a leap. Do something awesome. I love you. Bye.